Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Black in the Saddle. I am here with Pennie Selina Brown out of the DMV, and I'm so excited to talk to her about her journey through this horse life, the things that we've been working on together, and what the future looks like for her in her horse work. So, Penny, welcome to Black in the Saddle. I feel like you've been in and around it, and now you own it, and I'm so happy.
I am on it. Thank you so much for having me. Excited.
So, so when we first met at the Herd Institute conference, right? That was the first time we met.
It was.
I think so. And I knew of you from just learning about the Cowgirls of Color and seeing some of you talking about your experience there. And then I learned more about you at the Herd Institute conference. Can you let the Black in the Saddle family know how did you even get into horses in the first place?
Absolutely. Well, Black and Saddle family, let me tell you, this city girl was just minding her own business, following around her favorite band of the land, known as Secret Society. And we were at a restaurant slash party, and some cowboys just was at the party. They would ride their horses up there, time up outside, and come inside in the party and have a drink. And so one of the guys that was there kind of booked me, and we started talking and dating or whatever. And I was invited to come out to meet his horses. And for years, all that I ever knew was partying with horses in the woods with bonfires, dancing under the stars at night. It was like four-wheelers and trail rides at night. It was just the most amazing thing that I had experienced coming into adulthood. And it definitely was life-changing for me. And so that was my introduction to horses at maybe 40 years old, in my 40s. Um, what was the next question? Was there no question? Was there
Oh, I
no
didn't know
question? You know,
how
you gotta give
long.
me one at a time.
No, I just didn't know how far into the story you're gonna go. So you got introduced to trail rides, and you know that them that's how I was into it also, how I was introduced to horses also. So how do you go from being introduced to horses at a trail ride to dedicating your life to connecting girls to horses and providing equine facilitated learning services?
That's a great question. So, in my experience with this horse industry and being a part of the Cowgirls of Color, it just all happened. Like the timing was just so perfect. The same time that we were practicing and competing to be in the Bill P. Rodeo was the same year that I had established my nonprofit organization and facilitated my first program. What I experienced in the Cowgirls of Color community was, um, the saying that women are like, I can't get along with women and I don't get along with women. I experienced what I consider today is just unknown and unhealed traumas. And so, what I wanted to be able to create was another kind of like Cowgirls of Color community where girls could learn how to deal with their emotions and how to effectively communicate and how to build productive and positive relationships so that they wouldn't grow up and be adults that's like, I don't know. And so that was kind of what made me just focus on the girls. I had started a nonprofit organization all about wellness. I did not have a horse component or any sports component to it. It was actually created for athletes because I had been around boxers who had, boxing teams, and they would spend hours and hours a day with these boys and girls in the gym, just training them how to fight. And I'm like, they need some type of mentorship, some tutoring, or some kind of like leadership skills to go along with this sport. And so the guy was like, well, then you start one. And so that was kind of like where that idea came from. But when I was introduced to the horse industry and experienced, all of the things in this community with the cowgirls of color and just the cowboys within the area, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna make a difference. And then, just being in the horse industry and learning more about the things that are offered in this industry, like the education, like you can go to college to learn about horses and stuff. Who would have ever known that? And so just learn about the careers that came along with it. And then the other sports, because I was introduced to the Western industry. And so just learning about the other sports and like, with this sport, it's like you just gotta have some heart
Mm-hmm.
to be able to ride horses in this sport. And I was like, what inner city girl do you know that don't have heart and don't have grit? Like these girls, they will dominate in anything that they do, but they just need that other part. So that's what made me want to focus on girls. And then in addition to that, because people always ask me, well, why you don't work with boys? I just feel like if we can get girls to the place where they are the nurturers that they are supposed to be, they'll take care of the boys. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of doing both by working with just the girls.
Yeah, yeah. That is an incredible journey. I feel like a lot of people don't realize or when they think of the horse world or think of careers in the horse world, there is like just one lane that they want to go down, right? It's usually like in my case, being a veterinarian, or being a
Right.
horse trainer, or being a farrier. Like those are like the big horse careers when there is so many things out there, and being a executive director of a nonprofit that connects girls to horses is one of the very many things that people can do. So, how long have you been doing the Stand Foundation?
The Stand Foundation is 10 years old this month. So in August 2015, we started, the Stand Foundation was established.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. Getting the
Thank
10
you.
years in
Yes.
anything really
Yeah.
is huge. How do you stay committed to something for something, of your own creation how do you stay committed for 10 years?
So I have always felt like I was here for a purpose, just really not knowing what that purpose was. And so just looking at, I've always been like a caretaker. I've always like been the aunt of the year, taking care of the kids and, in the community, and then becoming a mom, having one child. When you have one child, the whole neighborhood is your child or are your children. And so I've always, been in that space where I care for people and I want to make sure that they are good, and I just want to make sure that they can have like great experiences while they're here on this earth. And so when these horses, they are so magical. They're just life changing. When they became a part of my life, it just highlighted like purpose for me. And then just because it was not anything that we experienced in the city, it was so many benefits. It was just something incredibly intriguing about horses and how they have relationships with humans that I wanted to like explore. And this was just the perfect opportunity to do so because so many people in the horse industry saw me doing the things that I was doing and reached out to me to put me in other spaces where I could learn more about what was going on out in this horse industry. And so it just felt like it was the right thing to do. I always say what I've said in a few videos prior that I am like the Harriet Tubman of today. I want to free my people, and this is one of the ways that I can do that. And so I've just always stayed on that course, and then looking at, the world and, the way society is now and all of the things that are exposed to our young girls and our communities. We need something like positive that can um help them understand who they are and learn how to deal with their and regulate their emotions and things like that. And horses help us do a lot of those things. And so it was just it was nothing, no other option. It was like this was it. This is the thing for me to do. And then doing it and being able to experience it and hear how it's affecting people and changing their lives. Like, what else can you do to like help other people become better beings? But this, I don't
Right.
know. But that was kind of like what keeps me going. And then it makes me feel good. Like I've learned and I've grown and I've healed in this industry just by doing the things that I'm doing as well. So
So not only are you committed to this mission for the personal development of others, the community that you serve, you have also found that it supports your own personal and professional development. Can you talk about some of the ways that it's helped
absolutely.
you personally?
Absolutely. When I tell you that being with this horse of mine named Blue has taught me so much patience. Whereas coming into this horse industry, I didn't understand building a relationship with a horse. I wasn't really trained as to how to do that. The way I came in and was told it was to make the horse do what you want the horse to do, you know, just
Mhm.
make by any, not necessarily by any means necessarily, but yeah, by some measures that I wouldn't necessarily recommend, I will say. And then I learned about so many other different ways to communicate and have relationships with horses. And that was what helped me learn how to communicate. If everybody would just treat people like they were horses, it would be a whole better world. I'm trying to tell you. So just learning how to communicate with my horse and being patient with my horse helped me to be able to have patience with people and be more understanding and, have better communications with human beings as well. And so, being introduced, like I said, the more that I do and the more that people see me, the more people reach out to me and want to offer other things to me that's going on in this industry. Like I was invited to a mastermind class um, for a year. That was like phenomenal, and it just blew my mind. Sherry was and the team of people, the cohort that was it was just like what I've always looked for and asked for in life, because I don't want to be that person in a circle of five and I'm always the one you want to come to for advice and I'm always the leader and I need to be in spaces with people that's doing amazing things that I'm just like wow about. And so, that also helped me to be like, well, if I'm in the spaces with these people that's doing these things that I'm wild about, I must be doing some things that people are wild about too. So I start looking at myself differently because I just do. I say that I just be and do. I don't ever stop to take a look at what I'm doing to say that it's this or it's that or it's amazing. But I did have one moment when I was looking at a video that this guy Jordan had captured from an event that I did. Oh my God. And it almost had me in tears. Just being able to see like the authentic, like love from these kids' faces and smiles. It was just like so incredible. And that's the type of stuff that like touches me. It's like, because
Yeah.
they don't live like that every day. It's like a struggle for these kids in the community. But that really was like a moment for me where I was like, yeah, I could have shed some tears. Like, I know you hear me all shaking right now, and I'm just doing my breath so I could stay cryless and I'm good. But
Yeah, so
Yes.
so the love you say you saw on their faces, was it with the horses or just in the event that you were in?
It was with the horses, like
Mhm.
their connection with the horse, just the things that they would do with the horse, like just any, well, not any little thing. Well, I see it now as, as a little thing, but nothing is a little thing. But
Yeah.
any interaction, no matter how small or how big, it is effective and it has always been so powerful. And
Mhm.
it's something that you will never, ever be able to forget because it's a feeling that you felt, experiences you can't not experience again. And so,
Yeah.
that is, how I've begun to live my life too. So, just looking at myself and rewarding myself and celebrating myself because there was never anything that I did before. And then it's like sometimes I just be walking around, I'll be like, "You so beautiful, girl." It's just like the little things that I do, and I see things, I be like, "You did that." So it's like just being able to encourage myself now, it just feels so good. And I'm not like feeling bad about it. It used to be like, do you really deserve this? Just all of those crazy questions that come into your head just because of other things that may have been said or other things that people may think. I have been a victim of that before, but this has like what they call that self-sabotaging. But it wasn't really self-sabotaging. It was because I was listening to what everybody else was saying to me. And so when I was able to shut those and then just focus on me and doing what I was doing and stay present with these horses and these kids. It's just like it has like changed my life. I don't want to do anything else. I can't imagine life doing something else because it's like every single day I'm in therapeutic experiences. It's like, how can you go wrong when you have this place? Like, I create my own space at the farm and with the horses. It's like another world where you can come to and escape. And it's so much different than being in the city with sirens all day and horns and cussing and fighting and shooting. Like, it is such a serene place. And it has helped me grow a lot too. So I just want to give that to other people.
I love what you said. It's like the experience with the horses and how you have to be with the horses changes the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are and how we can move in this world. And, I like to think that, even with Cowgirl Cameron stuff, like that is what I want to open the door for kids to be able to say like, oh, there I had this story or someone told me this story about who I'm supposed to be, but here's another story telling me I can be so much more. And
Yes.
I love that, that's something that you can gift other people, but it's also something that you hold on to yourself. And one of the things I admire most about you is your ability to do because I I I am also a doer, but I'm a
Mhm.
thinker first. And I be thinking my way through something and Penny did it already. And
I
I
didn't think
love
about
it.
it.
I love it. I love it. And so just our ability to work together and it matches, right? It we pick up what the other one's putting down, and I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Um, we haven't talked about it here, but you you said something earlier about like opening the doors to worlds that you just did not even know existed. Let's talk about the time we spent a little bit. What was that, November, December?
November in Jamaica.
Yes, November in Jamaica, because I feel like that was more of your PS wellness
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
business. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about that a little bit. How do you, okay, so not only are you a doer, you are also very similar to me, a connector.
Mm-hmm.
And people find you and you have conversations and then boom, you off. Like now we doing something else. So let's talk about how
Mm-hmm.
um what we did in Jamaica and how that came about.
Well, that was when I first visited Jamaica, it wasn't a good experience. The second time I went to Jamaica with a few young people, we did some cultural tours and things. So I got a chance to really see the people and see how they lived, not at a resort. And it grabbed me again, grabbed me right by the chest. It grabbed my heart, and I was just like, wow. And then, I wanted to be able to do something to help. And then I also felt like Jamaica was the closest place that we could get to that could like kind of remind us of Africa, where you have, you're eating from the land, you're just walking through farms and you got the goats and you got animals. Like everything is just really free and no worries. Like nobody is really concerned about having shoes or having this or that. But I definitely wanted at that point to be able to expose the girls from here to another way of living, another life. Did something happen? Okay, sorry. Um, and so I began to look for people in Jamaica that had horses. Took me a few years to looking and building relationships and trying to like find the people that was picking up what I was putting down, that wanted to be a part of what I was talking about doing. And so I met lady named from Half Moon Trina, and she invited me to come out to a polo club out in Kingston to a show. And so I went to the show and I met a few veterinarians that were at the show and a few other equestrian centers that they had up there. And one of the veterinarians was telling me, you should connect with this guy. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Jackson?
But Jackson, yes. You should connect with this guy because he has he wants to start an organization or healing with horses. And, I think this will be a great connection. So we connected via Instagram and we began talking and planning. And so one of the things that we were talking about was how the equestrian industry in Jamaica or the veterinary industry and the racetrack industry were trying to find other ways that horses could have life after the racetrack. And so EFL was perfect. And when I mentioned it to them, they were open to hosting something there so that we could introduce it to the community in Jamaica. But I wanted to reach out to like educators and mental health professionals and other equestrians because I wanted them to, see the practice, be able to go through trainings and get certified in the practice to have practitioners in Jamaica that could continue this and not just necessarily me being able to do it because I'm just like working on my cloning machine. It's not quite finished yet. I'm getting there. And so when we were talking about doing this event, I couldn't think of nobody else that would be better to come and do this with me than Ariana Johnson. So I reached out and shared this amazing opportunity with her so that we, can go and let Jamaica or Kingston experience what healing with horses really look
Yeah. And a time we had.
like. A time. Yeah.
It was a really cool experience. Not to only experience, like you said, um, being with people not in a resort environment, but also seeing horses in a tropical place, in a place where their standards are not the same as ours. And I say that not like one is better than the other, just different. Let me clarify.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Um, but also very much a still very English, very colonial mindset. Like it kind of puts me in mind of when I worked with some horses in London, and you know, I'm when I go into places and or like if I'm in New York, it's like, oh my gosh, your accent is so country. Well, when I was in London, it was like, wow, I am totally a hick. Like, really are some cowboys. We are from the West. These people, these English people just
Mm-hmm.
don't, we some cowboys. But then in
Yeah.
Jamaica, them having that very English colonized lifestyle still. Um, but also I'm like, what did you say?
Yes.
There's still being
Mm-hmm.
that cultural and language, having to figure out what it is that they're trying to tell us, even though we all speak in English.
Yeah.
It just it was so cool to be able to um be in that environment and then you being with people that look like you and they're like foreigner.
Right.
Oh, that's me. I'm the foreigner. Yes, hello. How can I help you? Um
Yeah.
I will also never forget when everyone was surprised that we were like cleaning up and
Right.
like y'all need to throw hay, let's throw hay, and
Right.
they're like, what are you doing? Because there's
Right.
very much the groom and the patron or the owner like dynamic, and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
just in America and being black horsewomen, it's like, oh no, we do this ourselves. We be by ourselves working hard, like, so
Right. Right.
it's hot.
Right.
We gonna get
Come
this
on,
done.
let me help you.
Let me
Right. What is it?
so we can go inside in some AC.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
so uh, how does PS Wellness, your business, differ from what you were doing with the Stamp Foundation?
Thank you for asking that question. So the Sand Foundation offered all of the things that I could possibly think of that existed in this horse industry for over the past 8 to 10 years. And so when the PS Wellness came along, we kind of took some of that off Sand Foundation's plate. So that now the Sand Foundation is only that summer camp experience that is offered to girls to teach them about horses, and our annual Black Equestrian Summer Bash. So the Sand Foundation is all about exposure to the Black equestrian sport. And then PS Wellness is where you come for the healing and the learning and the growing. And so, what we offer with PS Wellness is a writing and leadership program for girls, a 16-week program. We offer wellness retreats like what we did in Kingston, Jamaica. Um, and we offer one-on-one experiences with our horses. We offer group sessions with our horses. The retreats are the thing that I am so excited about because I have been in so many different spaces where horses are. And so I'm able to offer retreats everywhere that I have ever gone and everywhere that I've ever traveled because I always look for the horses.
Yeah.
So, I just want to be able to expose the people that want to be exposed to those things that I have experienced in life with horses. And so, if my offerings is something that you want to be a part of, I just say come on and go for the ride because it is an amazing journey. There has always been amazing experiences. And, we are here for all of the healing of known and unknown traumas, learning all about ourselves. Because horses help us do that too,
Yeah.
and growing so that we can look at things in a different way, which is the looking at it in a different perspective so that you can come up with the solutions that work for you. Because everything is not for everybody. But for those people that it is for, it is everything. Okay.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And, you know, what I appreciate most is that that was a very novel experience for me. And it helped towards some of my own, like, I mean, personal and professional development, being able to,
Mm-hmm.
step in a culture that's not mine and adjust. We already have to do that with
Mm-hmm.
horses, but doing that with people and Black people who, we're all connected by this passion for these animals. Mean Jackson and his dad, and all of the staff at the was it Caymanas Polo Club?
Yep.
Is that where we were? Or at Kingston Polo
Mhm.
Club? I can't
Yep. Caymanas. Caymanas. Uh-huh.
remember. You know, and then professionally saying, okay, this is something that is not just, in America, we can be in a very much American bubble. But seeing that it's around the world. I mean, it's literally worldwide, being able to connect with
Mm-hmm.
people who also care about the horse and want
Mm-hmm.
to protect it in more ways than just how can I use it? How can I get the most out of it kind of thing? How can I work it until,
Right.
it's no longer of use to me? So I
Right.
definitely appreciated being able to connect with people with that different mindset, and that made me think about my own work, and especially with Black in the Saddle, to say, okay, well, it's not just about being Black in the horse industry. I feel like there's a little bit, like you said in the very beginning, you learned how there were people had ways of working with horses that just didn't align with you anymore,
Right.
and you kind of have to expose yourself to some of these differences to say, okay, well, this isn't enough. What we have to do is not only prioritize the horse and understand the horse's place in our dynamic, but figure out how we can discover who we are with the horse as Black people,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just following that same, like, break them down, beat them up, train them up kind of thought process.
Right.
So I very much appreciate that. So I know we're switching lanes back to kind of the Stand Foundation. You said that right now they're really offering exposure to the horse. It's the gateway, right? Saying, hey,
Mm-hmm.
these are your options. I know you do other wellness things like nutrition and mindfulness. So there's
Mm-hmm.
other things that the Stand Foundation is exposing kids to. But one of the ways that you expose kids to horses is through the Black Equestrian Summer Bash. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So the Black Equestrian Summer Bash came about because Black people need to be celebrated in this equestrian industry for and recognized and seen for what it is that they're doing. And outside of like social media and commercials and things like that, it's real live people that's out here doing the same things. They just not getting all of the attention that others are getting. And so understanding that, I wanted to be able to recognize that. I mean, so being able to also create an experience where they can have fun and kind of experience what is offered at the Stand Foundation because not everybody can be a part of our summer camps. The boys can't be, the adults can't be as much as they want to. And so the Black Equestrian Summer Bash, it showcases what we do from the wellness role we have where you can get massages or you have sound bowl healing. We're looking to have acupuncture and things like that. Wellness is a component that we offer through the STAN Foundation. With the nutrition education, we had someone there to, talk about the food and offer nutritious smoothies and fruits and vegetables and things like that. And we like to have fun. So we have a fun zone with Wonder Fly Games. They come out and host their big inflatable games that everyone can just take a part of and enjoy. And we also do art therapy. So we have our artists there doing painting, face painting, other kind of paintings. So it's an opportunity for the entire community to experience what our girls go through in summer camp. From learning how to ride, learn about the therapy with horses, the mindfulness, the nutrition, the art, and the fun. So we are having a big community annual event this August the 31st
Mhm.
at the Baltimore City Ranch, and we would love for everyone to come and be a part of it.
Yes, yes. Black in the Saddle had the beautiful opportunity to join in the Black Equestrian Summer Bash last year, and it was so much fun. We did it in Rock Creek Park, or Rock Creek Horse Center, last
Mhm,
year, and there were so many people there. Like, I think
mhm.
that I don't know. I was surprised. I can't remember the numbers, but I was surprised. I just at
I know
the
we had over 200 people that registered. I remember
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. And so I mean, we were just, busy throughout the event. So I think that one of the things that I took away and one of the things that I think is hard for us to remember as people who have built professional lives in this world is how novel of an experience it is to be around
Hmm.
horses for literally
Hmm.
the majority of communities. We
Yes.
we surround ourselves with people who are in the industry like us, but they're literally everyone else is like, wow, like I cannot believe you get to do this. I cannot, oh, look at that. Look, there's a horse right there.
Right.
And it's like, sometimes we get in our heads like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, like this was supposed to be like this. This horse is supposed to be over here, or I thought it was going to be this way. And then you look around at the people and they're like, wow.
Right.
And it's just that kind of reminder, like you said earlier, to return to present,
Yeah.
you know? And
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like it's not that big of a deal. And
Right.
people still very much enjoy being around these animals and they're going to get something out of it. So I loved our panel last year. We talked for about 35 minutes just about the panelist journey in the horse world, and we probably had about 30 people watching the panel, and they asked some really good questions. So I'm
Hmm.
excited to bring that back again this year
Yes.
and record it this time. And I mean, we had a DJ, we was out there
Hmm.
line dancing and
Hmm.
stuff. And it was a really cool time. The sisters from
Yeah.
Sisters Horsing Around were there, and Marissa Hall was doing demos. They
Hmm.
can't join us this year, but we're still gonna have so many cool experiences for people to see the horses, learn about them, learn about other wellness things, listen to the panel. And then this year, we're doing an after party because as much as this event is about exposure and connecting to the community, it's about raising funds so that the Stand Foundation can continue to do this work through the summer camps and through the after school programs through the
Absolutely. Thank you for
year.
bringing that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year's panel. And because there's so many amazing people that we have in our local area. And one of the things that I also enjoy about being a part of the Staff Foundation is not only exposing our girls to the industry and the sport, but exposing them to other Black girls that are competing and placing in the sport
Hmm.
because now they can see themselves being a part of it. And so we had an amazing opportunity last Saturday that just passed to go and support Bailey Brown and Kennedy Kent at the Equestrian Center's best show. I think it's the Black Eyed Susan horse show, or something like that.
Hmm.
And we had about 25 people come out there to support her. And all of those kids were just like so amazed. It was like, I want to do this. And now they're just like to see, like they never would have ever known if they hadn't met these young girls. And so I just love, like you said, being that connector and being able to connect them with the people that look like them, that can pour back into them and just show them that they can do it too. Representation definitely matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yes. So
if you're
thank you for
listening,
having this Black in the Saddle podcast to talk about these things
of
because
course.
I would not have ever known. I don't hear much of people talking about the Blackness. Everybody wants to and be in all inclusive, and it's not anything wrong with that. But I just think that we need to highlight the Blackness and all that it is that we do and who we are. So thank you again.
Yeah. Yeah. I always you know, I there are people who have approached me about being on the podcast to share X, Y, and Z. And I also, so there were a few things that I thought going, into this and even kind of bringing Black in the Saddle back for this season. Like, number one, oh, someone else will do it. Like, I've been doing this since 2019. Someone else
Right.
will pick up the baton.
And where they at?
They no one did it.
Oh, okay.
And no, and that's just like we were saying, this like personal and professional growth, knowing the sauce that you are bringing and how your vision is gonna it's not gonna be the same as anyone else's. And I also realized, maybe I'm not for those people who just want exposure, or just want, you know to talk about, like, this is horses 101. This is a
Right.
hoof. This is a frog. Like, I'm not even here for that either. Cowgirl Cameron can do those things.
Right.
Okay. But for
Yes.
for for Black in the Saddle, I feel like there's those people that might land in the middle. They've been exposed to the horses. They either might be taking lessons, or they might be, looking at owning a horse or owning one already. And they need that, like, let's get a little bit deeper. Let's figure
Mm-hmm.
out who the people are that are working in our communities, so maybe I can go volunteer to
Mm-hmm.
to help introduce other kids to horses. Um, Speaking of that, if you want to volunteer for the Black Equestrian Summer Bash, um, send me a DM on social media or send me an email, and we'll get you organized. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, just the people in the middle need something too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many podcasts where you can talk about other things and you can highlight other people. And I have released myself from the responsibility of having to be that person.
Good for you. Congratulations. And
So here
speaking of
we
the middles, mentioning the middles, I've had a conversation with this guy, and those are the people that we still can reach, the middles, right? Because, you think of the old dogs you can't teach a new trick to. And then the other people, I mean, those are the ones that's just like, okay, there's just like nothing that we can do for you. And when you think about it, like on an elementary school level with children, who's the person that the teacher's always paying attention to? The ones that's getting in trouble, the ones that need so much more redirection and so much attention, so much so to the point that the people that want to be there, they don't get any attention. And so, those that's going to excel, they're going to excel anyway because they're just geniuses and they were created to do that. But the ones that's in the middle, those are the ones that we need to be reaching. So thank you for reaching the middles.
Yeah, absolutely. I am here for it. I'm here for it. So tell people if they want to learn more about the STEM Foundation or if they want to learn more about PS Wellness or you in general, where should they be looking and how can they get in touch with you?
So if you want to learn more about Stand Foundation, you can definitely check us out on Instagram at the Stand Foundation __ And you can check out our website at thestandfoundation.org. And if you want to learn more about PS Wellness, you can find us also on Instagram at pswellness.me. That's pswellness.me. And the website is also pswellness.me. I would love to hear from you all.
Awesome. And I did this last season. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna bring this back for this season since you're my first guest for this season.
Yes.
What does Black in the Saddle mean to you? Not necessarily the podcast itself, but this idea of Black in the Saddle. What does that mean to you?
So black in the saddle means that you are either a black equestrian who has ridden horses before or have some type of experience and exposure with horses to the point that you have enough knowledge to either be safe around them or ride them. Black in the saddle. It's just so powerful because, like, being in a saddle is leadership. I don't want to say dominance, but dominance was like the first way of being black in a saddle until
Yeah.
you learn that it is a partnership and a relationship, and being higher doesn't mean that you're the dictator. It just means that you're being allowed to lead. And so I think that the Black in the Saddle is for Black leaders as well.
I love that. I love that so much. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate you being on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to meeting all new people this year at Black Equestrian Summer Bash at City Ranch. That is August 31st. And come to the bash, come to the after party, donate to the Stan Foundation if you can't do either of those things. Because, like you said, you don't have to be, or the Stand Foundation doesn't have to carry everything. I learned very quickly that I don't have to be the one rounding up the kids. Right? I can
Right.
use my skills elsewhere in support of the organizations who are already doing the work. And I always tell
Mhm.
people, they're like, I want to start an iPad. Have you volunteered for one? Okay. Don't say that you want to start
Yeah.
something until you have volunteered and supported one so that you know what you're getting yourself into, or at least can get some sort of idea. So, thank you for doing that work. Thank you for committing to that work for 10 years now.
Yes.
And
Yes. Thank you.
yeah, I look forward to many more years to come.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate this.